Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 8 of Brat Said That. I am your host, BratJackson, with my co-host Penny and the other producer of the show, Gepette. I want to thank everybody to the show. We got a lot to talk about. I was going to come on yesterday, but then with the World Series going to Game 7, and also with the things going on with the World Heavyweight Championship, I wanted to figure, I'll come on today. So, as we always start off the show, I got to make sure that I'm live. That's the first thing. I know I'm live here, but there we go. Oh, I see myself. Okay. Hello, handsome. How you doing? I just want to make sure. Okay, here we go. As always, we start the show off cracking open that nice cold Coke Zero. Don't want to overflow it. I'm wearing a hat today. I wore a hat the other day. It's a Kraken hat. Do I like Seattle Kraken? No, I mean, they go alright. But Lids has sales for like $10 a hat. And these hats are nice, so why not wear it? It's sports-related theme. But anyway, cheers to you. Take a sip of drink. And let's get on with the show. Alright, we are ready to go. First call for the night, folks. As we always do, we got to start off with the energy up. We got to talk about the breaking news last night. Breaking news. Seth Rollins has been stripped of the World Heavyweight Championship. Wow. He legit is injured. Poor Seth. I think it was at, was it Crown Jewel when he did that, like, diving headbutt. Never did that before. Probably never going to do that again. But yeah, Adam Pearce came out, stripped Seth Rollins, and they had a battle royal last night. Like I said, I don't like to go over, like, everything that happened, but it was a big Raw. It was a big news. Jey Uso, I mean, I get it, you know. I would have done something completely different. Alright. He won the Battle Royal, Jey Uso. Yeet. He's gonna face CM Punk as Saturday night's main event on the 1st. I would have. It's not like it's a big pay-per-view per se. Okay? We can have like Jey Uso versus CM Punk at maybe like a Rumble. This you could have gave to somebody who's like coming up the ranks, you know, maybe like I want to see LA Knight. So this is my vision, no pun intended. I want to see a heel LA Knight. Yeah, take over the Vision. I mean, you could call it the Night Vision. That'd be kind of cool. But I guess they're trying to do what they did with Roman and push Jay onto us. I liked that he faced Gunther and won at WrestleMania. I liked how he won the Rumble. I would have had him eliminate Logan Paul at the Rumble, but that is hearsay or naysay. But on the 1st, it's going to be CM Punk versus Jey Uso. I think Punk's going to win this. I don't see anything really. Yeah. Punk's going to go into WrestleMania next year as a champion. Could be. Or I don't see Jay winning again. I just don't. I don't see it. But speaking of new champions, see, transition, I'm learning, folks. A new World Tag Team Champion, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Now, I'm not familiar with that tag team. It's kind of like thrown together. I know they've been teaming and doing some backstage segments for a few weeks, but I mean, that tag team wrestling in WWE isn't what it used to be, man. You got these thrown together tag teams, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, and I don't know, I feel like there's more, what's the word, see, I'm not smart. More tag teams that are legitimately tag teams that could have been champions. But I guess that's what they're going for. I don't book the show, but yeah, AJ Lee, Dragon Lee defeated JD McDonough and Finn Balor, Judgment Day. Those I think they defended him like twice in like 6 months. I don't know, man. Like I said, that title was never really defended. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, they're probably just going to hold the titles for just a little bit. And other than that, I mean, yeah, cool, you new tag team champions. I don't want to say, like, oh, it's cool or anything, but, like, yeah, okay. But Stephanie Vasker, women's champion, looks like she might possibly be hurt. Uh-oh. She was going to do a springboard on, I think, Raquel, and she kind of might get hurt. You know, didn't land it wrong. I don't know. It's a sloppy year for the women, you know, with Liv hurt and, you know, Naomi vacating. They're not sloppy in that sense, but, man, that title is up in the air, kind of. I don't know, but, like, you know, so Saturday night's main event, CM Punk, Jey Uso, we'll see. I didn't get a chance to watch the show because I was working, but I do know that they're done. The Vision and Paul Heyman, they're done with Seth Rollins. So, we'll see. But I did see Braun Breaker coming into Raw with the world title over his shoulder, and that looked pretty dang good. I do like that. Like I said, he is the future of the company, and I want to see them continue with Braun and Braun. Even if you bring Brock back. I know not a lot of people are big on a Brock Lesnar right now. Hey, why are you shutting off? You do not shut off. Okay? You stay, screen. I gotta look at you. You're my notes. Even if you bring Brock Lesnar back, Braun, and Heyman, you have a faction right there. But I want to see those two stay together. But that was Raw. We talked about SmackDown on what we had Saturday. Saturday we had a Bratterday edition of Brat Said That. Yeah, we talked about Dragunov coming back, win the United States Championship. But tonight, NXT, I got the rundown of the show. Mostly, I'm looking forward to the TNA X Division Championship between Leon Slater and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, who's with, what is her name? I swear, I'm getting old. I know these things. I'm just old now. Ariana Grace, Little Miss Santino Morella. That's gonna be a good match. I could see a title change. You know, you can put that title on Stacks. It's a really good relationship between NXT and TNA. I think we've kind of had like more stars from TNA coming to NXT than NXT to TNA, but I like it. I like it. X Division. I'm not an X Division in that limit. I mean, there is no weight limits, but I'm not jumping off the top rope anytime soon anymore. I've only made it to the second rope. No, top of the rope's too scary for me. Then they're doing a speed tournament. I'm sorry, this speed title is just stupid. I don't like it. I don't care for it. It's, 5 minutes, you know? Yeah, dude, it's a meaningless title. It is. I'm gonna be honest. You know, Brat said that. I need to still get a button. But the speed championship, like the 24/7 championship, it's just meaningless. It's stupid. There's too many titles anyway. You need to cut down those titles. But speaking about titles, new match for Halloween Havoc, Sol Ruka, who's phenomenal, by the way. She's great. Facing Blake Monroe, who is Mariah May from AEW. Yes, we will talk about WrestleDream. I didn't get a chance to watch it. But that match is going to be in Halloween Havoc, NXT Women's North American Championship. I like that title, North American Championship. Like I said, Ethan Page has been doing great things with the Men's North American Championship. Now, Sol Ruka is doing great things with the Women's North American Championship. So, unlike this... I don't want to get political, but, you know, unlike this North America, the NXT North American Championships are in good hands. But other than that, I really wish I could do like a tweet along or watch along for Halloween Havoc, but I have a comedy show I got to do. More on that later. But we talked about Raw, we talked about NXT, SmackDown's on Friday. I don't see any previews yet. We'll talk about that more on Thursday. But we can talk about WrestleDream, AEW. I'll give you a nice big chunk of time. Yeah, AEW had WrestleDream. I got the results right here. I don't think we didn't talk about it. No, because we couldn't watch it on Saturday. They had their 0 hour kind of tailgate brawl, they call it. Death Riders defeated the Conglomeration. Death Riders are Pac, Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Daniel Garcia, who I'm big fans of. The Conglomerate, Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, Tomohiro Ishii, and Roderick Strong. Kind of like the Undisputed Era. 8-man tag, open up the show. You know, you put any of those 8 together, they're going to do great things. Eddie Kingston and Hook, who I'm a big fan of. Those two defeated the Frat House of Griff Garrison. Who is Griff Garrison? And Cole Carter. I've seen more Frat House in like Ring of Honor. They have like this one big buff dude, man. I don't know. I think his name is like Muscles Marinara or something. I don't know. But yeah, Eddie Kingston and Hook, I think they won pretty quickly. Wasn't really that far of a competition. Next match, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron defeated Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Yeah, that's a good tag team match. Get those 4 women on the show. Like I said, Willow Nightingale, I've watched her in the Indies in New York. She's great. Then you have FTR versus Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, and they defeated Jet Speed, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. So, I guess they were having the match, and then the pay-per-view starts, and they're still having the match, and the pyro's going off, and the opening of the show, like, 0 hour ended, and they're still wrestling, and the pay-per-view began, and it's still wrestling, and it's like, welcome to WrestleDream, and they're still wrestling. That's like, just like back in WCW when it's like, welcome to hour number 2 of Nitro, and there's like 2 jobbers in the ring, and like they're still having like the fireworks going off. But I mean, that was cool. Then we start with the main card: Jamie Hayter versus Tekla. Is that how you pronounce it? I literally watched this show and I still can't pronounce it. I mean, that, opening match. Get these 2 women on the card. Great stuff. Jamie Hayter, former AEW Women's Champion. Big fan of hers. Then you got really the match of the night. The 500,000, of course it's gimmick, tag team match. Jack Perry and Luchasaurus versus Nick and BratJackson. Like I say, no relation. Man, that was probably as good as like you could predict it. Those 4, especially with the Young Bucks, that was a great match. That really was a great match. And little face turn maybe by the Jacksons. We gotta see. They've been heels for a long time. Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, rightfully they won this match. They should. They just reunited, and they deserve. Listen. I know I just started the show last month. Actually, tomorrow will be 1 month anniversary. Yay! I wish I would have done this during Brawl Out, right? Oh, I would have loved to talk about that, but, I think Jack Perry's over that. CM Punk is in WWE, Jack Perry's doing his thing. I love the scapegoat gimmick. The scapegoat gimmick that Jack Perry was doing. I thought that was a great gimmick. And Luchasaurus, I feel like I met him once. I think I was at an indie show and he was on it. He was also on, Big Brother, right? But yeah, those 2, Jurassic Express, back together. Kenny Omega came out. I don't know what's going on with Kenny Omega. I feel like he's kind of at the end of his career, legendary career. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can wrestle another 10 years. But I know that he came out to help out. Oh, I thought somebody was entering my chat. And then we move on. Hurt Syndicate defeated The Demand to become number 1 contenders for the Trios title. I've never really been a fan of Trios titles. You have the tag teams, and I feel like that's enough. But it works. A lot of companies like Ring of Honor, AEW, I think New Japan does it. Never open weight, 6-man or whatever. But Hurt Syndicate, we met them when we went to WrestleCon. It was obviously Hurt Syndicate, and man, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MVP. Those are 3 dudes you don't want to mess with. I'll be honest. Especially Demand. Besides Ricochet, those other 2 are just really scary. Ricochet's bald. TNT Championship. Kyle Fletcher defeated Mark Briscoe. Good match. Kyle retains. I didn't see a title change happening. You know, Kyle Fletcher is kind of going to be groomed or is being groomed to be the new face of the company. I like his pink tights. It's very, you know, the only bad arses wear pink, you know. But yeah, that was a good match. Okay, AEW World Championship, Chris Statlander defeated Tony Storm to retain. You know, those two have good chemistry together. I'm going to be honest. You know, but this is the one I want to talk about. I've made it clear, Mercedes Moné, she can win 60 titles, and I won't care. I won't care. She, on the show, issued a open challenge to a winner-take-all against Mina Shirakawa, who is the ROH Women's TV champion. And Mercedes won. That's about her 12th title. I don't care. You can cover yourself in titles. I still don't give a crap. I'm going to be honest. Nothing to do with her personally. I just don't find her entertaining. But then we move on to something I do find entertaining. Somebody that I do know. Brody King and Mandino defeated the Don Callis family of Okada and Takeshita. I heard this match went like 37 minutes long. Like, that's dope. You give the tag team titles 37 minutes, and that's great. Let me just make sure. What is it? 27 minutes. That's still a long time. That's still a long freaking time. Great match. Tag team match. Like I said, I don't know too much about Bandito and Brody King teaming up. But, hey, they're the tag team champions. And then we move on to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Adam Page defeated Samoa Joe. Now, Samoa Joe is that guy you can just put on anywhere. Anywhere with Samoa Joe. He's been the mainstay for the last 25 years. Hi, sis. How you doing? I'm talking about wrestling. You know, that stuff you told me to not watch when I was growing up. You still told me that. Hangman Adam Page, he's the champion. And that was a great match. I saw that Samoa Joe turned on Adam Page and choked him out at the end. You know, so we'll see. They're probably going to continue that feud. But in the main event, a little bit of controversy. We got to talk about a little bit of controversy. Darby Allin defeated Jon Moxley in the I Quit match. That's not the controversy we're going to talk about, but Sting returned. It was good seeing Sting, but I feel like if you retire and you have a huge retirement match like you did back in the day, just stay. Just stay away. I love that Sting is doing his face paint over his goatee. It is hysterical. It is absolutely hysterical. He is living the gimmick. So overall, the pay-per-view was nice. Wasn't, you know, it's 13 matches. And I'll be honest, 13 matches is a lot for a pay-per-view. But I don't like when WWE only has 5 matches. So I can't complain when AEW has 13. 8's good. 8 or 9 is like good for like a pay-per-view like this. I do want to talk about the controversy. I don't know too much about this person, but this is what ChatGPT told me. Sarah Stock is a Canadian professional wrestler turned coach and producer. She served as a coach producer for WWE and then AEW. She was released early this year. What triggered the controversy? At the pay-per-view event, WrestleDream, in the main event I Quit match between Moxley and Allen, a highly violent and graphic spot took place. Moxley used a large aquarium tank filled with water inside the ring, submerged Allen's head underneath the water in the stunt. I mean, I've said this before, they're probably gonna have to kill each other because none of them are gonna say I quit. And if I can go back before I go forward, I don't think Moxley said I quit. Was it the referee just called the bell? I could be wrong. But Sarah Stock, Shock or Stock, I don't know, Stock, S-T-O-K, okay. You know who can stop this? Mothers, with their remote control. This is worse than a plastic bag over the head. Kids are going to end up dead trying this stuff at home, at AEW. Her concern that such a violent visual could inspire impressible kids to try to replicate. I'm sorry, kids. I'm lack of sleep. Replicate it, and that the promotion was crossing a line without clear warnings or disclaimers. Now, I see a couple people responded. Of course, Bully Ray had to chime in, and he defended the spot, stating, "Everybody knows what they're getting with AEW." As somebody who likes to say they're controversial, I think that spot's a little bit too much. But let's see. When a former coach says children are going to end up dead trying this at home, it forces the industry to pause and ask, are we entertaining or endangering? This isn't about whether the spot was good or bad. It's about the message behind it. Wrestling sells death-defying imagery. The question is, where is the line? Also, Stock herself came from the business and knows the risks. Her departure and subsequent criticism suggests that maybe internal tensions about how AEW handles extreme content. Now, I can see she has a point, but also you gotta realize it is a show. And especially if you follow this show, you know Darby Allin, you know Jon Moxley, you know the lengths that they're gonna go. I've seen worse. I've seen worse in wrestling. I'm not giving that a pass, but everybody's got their own opinion. I don't know. I'm not a mother, so I don't know really what to say. I feel like we know. Listen, I grew up in the era of Grand Theft Auto. I played Grand Theft Auto, all of them. I can't wait till 6 comes out next year. I've never once wanted to beat up a hooker with a baseball bat and then run her over with my car. Just like in wrestling. Yeah, don't try this at home. But I think kids are smart enough that we're past the Tide Pod era that they're not going to drown themselves in fish tanks. But, hey, who knows? She's got a point, though. But it's a show. AEW likes to say it's wrestling, and it is wrestling, but it's still entertainment. It's no different than you going to the movie and seeing a stunt like that. But overall, WrestleDream, good show. I know it's like in a Tony Inoki tribute show. So he passed away a few years ago, so rest in peace to him. He is a legend. Faced Muhammad Ali. But we talked about AEW, we talked about WWE. Let's move on to the next topic. Mixed martial arts. Some good stuff. This weekend at UFC Vancouver, Brandon Allen defeated Rene the Riddler by TKO stoppage. Now, the fight happened. It ended with the Riddler on the stool, his corner threw in the towel. Nobody throws in the towel anymore. They just say, hey, my fighter can't fight. And gave Allen a huge win. I was honest, I didn't see Allen winning. I know, I'm just calling RDR from now on. I'm just going to say RDR because I don't know, I can't pronounce names. But I thought RDR was on his way to another, for a title shot. But that was a huge win for Allen. That really was. 4th round stoppage. We do have to talk more about this show. Because this show has a little bit of, let's just say, a little bit of BratWurst nominations. Also, on this card, Mike Malott took on Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland fights about 5-6 times a year. Chito Vera was he got defeated, split decision. Now split decisions, they're hard in the UFC because if you don't know what a split decision is, it's when 2 referees say that one fighter won and the other referee said the other fighter, or judge says the other fighter won. So it was a close match, like Dana White said thousands and thousands of times on every episode of Tough Enough or The Ultimate Fighter. Never leave it in the hands of the judges. Marion Ferrell, she won in 94 seconds. That's a huge win for her. Charles Jourdain, Davey Grant, submission. Like I said, I love submissions. Guillotine choke. Drew Dober defeated Kyle. Man, his last name looks like something you would take for like a headache. Prepolic? That was Dober was deducted 1 point. Oh, okay, wow. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't get to see this card because I was at a thing you called working. But overall, like, it was, these cards, when they're out of the Apex, are fun. I don't think they should ever go back to the UFC Apex. That was during COVID days. Very smart to do that in a secure location. But now that you're out where, I don't want to say past COVID because I still feel like it's ringing over our heads. But we shouldn't have fight nights in the Apex. Unless it's like 15 versus 14. Like, then you can have that. But I do want to talk about somebody who deserves a little bit of acknowledgement. Dan Miragliotta. Oh, Dan. If you don't know Dan Miragliotta, he is a referee. He's a longtime referee with the UFC. He's a good referee. But not on this night. I want to talk more about the first, or I'll talk about the second incident, but I want to talk about, hey, second cough of the day. During the co-main event, Mike Morlott landed 2 low blows on Kevin Holland within a minute. Can you imagine that getting kicked in the dick in 2 minutes, or in a minute? Despite the severity of the fouls, Miragliotta issued only a warning and did not deduct a point. Holland, visibly in pain, if anybody who's ever been kicked in the gonads knows that hurts, was given additional time to recover, but ultimately continued to fight. Of course he was, because it's Kevin Holland, and he is a tough dude. The inconsistent officiating drew boos from the crowd and criticisms from fighters and fans alike. That's not really the big controversy I want to talk about. This was the controversy. Kyle Nelson versus Matt Frevola. Matt Frevola, who is one of my people, he is from New York. He's from Long Island. I think he's from, where is he? Huntington. Good train station. During the, in the opening round, Kyle Nelson appears to have Matt Frevola in trouble. And he did. 3 coughs. Landing a knockout and follow up with unanswered strikes. Okay, so Kyle Nelson, he's raining down, digga bop. Okay, Matt Frevola, he's in trouble. With approximately 3 seconds remaining in the round, Miragliotta stopped in as if to stop to fight. He went in, stopped the fight. However, he quickly backed away, citing that he has mistakenly thought he heard the end of the round horn, which, fourth. If anybody's in a UFC show or event, you know that horn goes, you should be able to hear it, especially for a guy who's been in the octagon as much as Dan Miragliotta. This premature intervention denied Nelson what seemed to be a clear first round victory. Hold on. Excuse me. I'm coughing. UFC Vice President Mark Ratner later confirmed the error. Now that's 2 big mess-ups in one night. Excuse me. I'm coughing because I'm talking a lot, not because I'm dying. Matt Brown, a UFC veteran, we all know, love Matt Brown, criticized the lack of accountability among MMA officials, emphasizing that such mistakes can have serious consequences for fighters' careers, which is true. You know? Oh, I needed that. Mike Morlott was on the way to winning a fight and getting like a bonus. Now, who knows? I'm sorry, not Mike. Kyle Nelson, he was on his way for winning, and now he got a decision, you know? Daniel Cormier, DC, described the events as nuts, highlighting the unusual circumstances and the challenges for officiating in high-pressure situations. Excuse me, I'm sorry. All right, and then we have Josh Thompson, another UFC fighter. Know that whilst the right fighter ultimate won, The controversial officiating could have led to greater backlash if the outcomes have been different. And that's true. Say Kyle Nelson, he's about to win the fight. All of a sudden, Big Dan steps in, stops around. Then you have Matt Fervoli get back, and then obviously might win. So that is really, in conclusion, Megaliotta's performance at UFC Vancouver has been widely criticized. His errors not only affected the fighters' performances, but also the integrity of the event. Which I'm going to give him, ladies and gentlemen, the 4th recipient of the BratWurst of the Week, Dan Mergliotta. So, congrats, Dan Mergliotta. You won the BratWurst of the Week. Better luck next time. Listen, I don't want to be an MMA referee. I don't. I can't see very well without my glasses, so I'll be missing all the illegal shots. But yeah, I've watched the interview, and it's a what's that word? It's a job that gets no pay. Like, if you do good, you do good. If you do bad, people are gonna remember you do bad. But I do want to talk about some breaking news. 2026 is going to start off with a bang. We have Paddy Pimblett taking on Ilia Topuria for the UFC Lightweight Championship. Paddy is 7-0 in the UFC. And he's now ready for a title for the Lightweight Championship. Ilia is now the UFC Lightweight Champion. He was the UFC Featherweight Champion. 9-0 in the UFC, undefeated. Man, that is going to be one hell of a fight. Starting off 2026. I don't know when, or the card, or the date, or the time, or the where. But I don't know a clear winner, to be honest. I don't. Paddy's a big 155er. And Ilia is just on a rampage since winning the featherweight and the lightweight championship. So that is going to be a really good fight. We'll talk more about that in the upcoming months. But this Saturday, heavyweight championship on the line. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane in Abu Dhabi. This time I know they're in Abu Dhabi. I will give my predictions on the Thursday show. But yeah, that's kind of that fight's not gonna go to decision. I'll say it right here, Brat Said That. Boom. That's not gonna go to decision. I see Tom Aspinall winning. Now, if I was Tom Aspinall, I would be calling out John Jones. I know John Jones is ducking and he's not gonna fight, but that's what I would do. And I just want to see John Jones get knocked out. But it's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna be honest. Speaking about good fights, I gotta give it to the Seattle Mariners. They put up a good fight, but the Toronto Blue Jays are going to the World Series. My prediction was so close, but yet so far. It's the World Series, Dodgers versus Blue Jays. It starts Friday. Blue Jays 94-68, Dodgers 93-69. Home field advantage goes to the Blue Jays. I'll be honest, I used to like when the All-Star game had the home field advantage. Like whatever division or league won that game had the home field advantage of the World Series. But now they just do it by record, which is making more sense. Dodgers are aiming back-to-back titles, having swept the Brewers. Brewers, I said you were going to go to the World Series, and you got swept. Oh, man. Shohei Ohtani, though, I get it. You know, it's just impressive what he does. Rotation, Walker Buehler, Julio Urias. It's going to be a good World Series. It's going to be, as somebody who likes to like look at maps and stuff, that's a far World Series from Los Angeles to Toronto. And you got to go through customs too. Toronto Blue Jays, first World Series since '93. They're making their first Fall Classic appearance in over 3 decades. Can you believe that? I literally thought the 1993 was like 20 years ago. But apparently it's 32. Yeah. George Springer, 3-run home run in Game 7. I didn't get to see the Worlds. I didn't get to see Game 7. I was at work. But I was really rooting for the Mariners. I wanted to see the Mariners go to the first World Series, but they didn't. But hey, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. was named the MVP. 385 batting average, 3 home runs and 4 walks. That's great. I can't give you my prediction right now. Okay, so here's the thing. Unless it's like my team that I really, really root for, I like seeing new champions every year. But the Dodgers can go back to back. First time since the Yankees did it in 98 to 2000. But yeah, we know the Blue Jays, 92 and 93. What was it? 91, 92 and 93. You know? But we'll see. You know, it starts Friday. I'm going to definitely be checking up on these games. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. We got to talk about races. Like the AL MVP is going to go to Kyle Raleigh. NL MVP is going to go to Shohei. Cy Young and everything we'll talk more about. But yeah, not unfortunately, but I really enjoyed having all those like postseason games to talk about. Now we're just down to the World Series. Man, you got Shohei Ohtani on your team. So if you're a Dodgers fan, you know, repeat. But, speaking about teams that aren't going to repeat, let's talk about football. This Sunday was a great week for football. Not a great week for the Las Vegas Raiders, who lost 31-0 against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know what you're asking, Brat, why do you give the Raiders the BratWurst of the week? Let me tell you, it is the BratWurst of the week is called the Las Vegas Raiders BratWurst of the week because they are the worst team I've ever seen, besides the Jets. The Jets 0-7. They could easily go 0-17. They look atrocious. I do want to give my producer a shout out to Gepette. He won 11-4 this week, folks. He did a great job. I'm very proud of him. You know, I think he just messed up a few silly games. I think he picked I don't know who he picked. I know he was wrong a few times, 4 times obviously. He picked the Commanders over the Cowboys. I wanted to see the Cowboys lose because anytime the Cowboys lose is a good week. But hey, man, NFL is red hot. Week 7, we got the Eagles, Packers. Look at that division, the NFC North. Packers, Lions, and Bears. Oh my! Even the Vikings are still in it, 3-3. Buccaneers. Let's shout out to the Panthers, 4-3. They went like 4-13 a few years ago. That's a division they can really. Well, the Buccaneers are really good, so I don't know. Winning 3 in a row. Wow. AFC West, like I said, they used to be the worst division in football. 49ers, Seahawks, and Rams, 5-2. One of those teams is going to miss the playoffs, and it's going to be sad. And obviously it's going to be sad when you miss the playoffs, dummy. But they're going to be so close to miss it. Eagles, I think they're going to run with NFC East. Giants came this close. I saw that the Broncos just came back to win. Oh, man. I hate to say it, the Patriots, they're doing pretty good. 4 wins in a row, 5-2 record, above the Bills. It's either the Bills or the Patriots, folks. The Dolphins are 1-6. Mike McDaniel might be fired. Jets are horrible, 0-7, trash. Steelers, Aaron Rodgers is having a resurgence. See, that's what happens. You get out of New York and you have a resurgence. It's working for Daniel Jones. It might be working. There's something about being in New York that just... Oh, man. The Steelers 4-2. They might have lost... what was it, the Icy Hot Bowl? I love that. I love that name. But, yeah, that's the Bengals and the Steelers. They're going to go neck and neck for that division. The Colts, congrats, 6-1 for the Colts. I really want the Jaguars to do good. I like Trevor Lawrence, but come on now. The Titans are trash. They just fired their head coach. The Chiefs and the Chargers are 4-3. Broncos are 5-2. The Raiders are 2-5. Raiders are trash. You know, they're not going to lose next week because they're going to bye. and that's only because they have a bye. Ravens without Lamar Jackson, no relation, 1-5. So I can clearly say goodbye Dolphins, goodbye Jets, goodbye Ravens, goodbye Raiders, goodbye Titans. Texans, you were close last night. All right, they okay, I lied. Oh, yeah, 27-19. That's a close game. But really, I can see the Colts, man. They're doing really good. The NFC Eagles, I don't want to see the Eagles go back to the Super Bowl. I don't want to see the Chiefs go back to the Super Bowl. Giants aren't going to go to the Super Bowl. The Packers, Lions, and Bears, like I said, man, Bears won 4 in a row. That is great. And I want to just point out, okay, the Raiders, my Raiders, I've been a Raider fan since 2002. They lost 31-0. Do you understand how you don't score 0 points? You're guaranteed at least 3 points. The Raiders scored no points. I scored the same amount of points that the Raiders did. But, like I said, ChatGPT, you went 11-4. That's your best week yet. He will have his predictions this Thursday. Make sure you go to the Twitter and the Instagram. I post them every Thursday. We'll talk more about the week 8 games coming in a few days. But other than that, really, NHL is kicking off, doing great. Vegas Golden Knights 5-0-2, 12 points, most in the league. Hey, Raiders might stink, but at least we have a good team in Vegas. NBA season starts off tomorrow. Like we talked about a week or so ago, the favorites, the Thunder. Really, I don't have much to talk about NBA just yet because the season hasn't started yet. Is this LeBron's last year? Cooper Flag, first pick in the draft on my Mavericks. I'm excited to see the Mavericks Luka-less, hey. But other than that, we've talked a lot. I've coughed 5 times. I'm okay. It's just when I talk a lot, I cough. We talked about wrestling. We talked about controversy, MMA, UFC, the World Series coming up Friday. NFL is doing great. NHL season is kicking off. Like I said, there's going to be some sports we talk about more on this show. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I've been ever since I was like 7. So, of course, wrestling is going to take a huge chunk of the show. Right now, football is deep into the season. So, there's always a concert football game on Mondays and Thursdays and Sundays. Oh, actually, before we can do that, I do want to talk about college football. I know my UNLV lost bad last week. We were 6-0, and then we lost to Boise State. I mean, where even is Boise State? Boise's not a state. We lost 56-31, 6-1. We're not ranked. We usually won't get ranked, but I do like the AP top 25. I unfortunately, Ohio State is number 1. I say unfortunate, not like I care, but I've got more Michigan friends that Michigan's 25. Ohio State's number 1. That must hurt. But other than that, Indiana, I didn't even know they had a football program. 7-1. Alabama, historically good. Georgia, Oregon, they got Ducks. Miami. Now, I read somewhere, I don't know what I was watching. I was watching some sports show that they were saying like the all-time Miami team can beat this Miami Dolphin team. And I'll be honest, I think so too. Notre Dame, I like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They're 5-2. They're ranked number 12. Oklahoma, 13. Boomer Sooner. South Florida, wow, what's that? That's like right by where I used to live, right? Where is USF? Right? USF? Oh no, that's in. Oh, I gotta. ChatGPT is putting on South Florida Bulls. Where are they located? They're located. Oh, in Tampa. Never mind. That's in the opposite of where I was. But other than that, man, I mean, I think I'm gonna end the show. Good show, great show. We went about 45 minutes. Talked a lot about a lot of stuff. Yeah, so NXT tonight, AEW tomorrow. I'll be home. I'll be here Thursday. If there's anything you guys like want me to do, want to see, this is episode 8, guys. I'm learning how to do this. I got a microphone. It's colorful. I got a hat now. I know I like mumble sometimes, but I used to go to speech therapy as a child, with my R's and my W's. But other than that, if you have any comments, concerns, questions, let me know. I listen to everything and everybody. I'm not stuck up. Feedback is good. I've seen a lot of people in the chat today. Like and comment and stuff, man. Follow me on Twitter, BratSaidThatX. Instagram, BratJackson, the O and Jackson 0, and then YouTube is BratJackson. I upload those videos right after they go live. But yeah, also, like on Twitter, if John Cena's following me, you should follow me. But also, besides all the sports talk, I'm going to do comedy tomorrow at Wise Guys Comedy Club. If you're in Vegas, come down. It's $5. I'm going to crack some jokes with some folks. But other than that, guys, I had a great time. We went about 47 minutes. Yeah, so that is episode 8. Thank you for all who watched. And remember, sports.